game changer is that 5G will use much higher frequency bands than previously thought viable for mobile broadband and other applications. Such millimeter wave signals have physical properties that are both a limitation and a strength. They tend to travel best in narrow and straight lines, and they do not go through physical objects as well. But brilliant engineers have developed new antennas that can aim and amplify signals. Now, to make this work, the 5G build-out is going to be very infrastructure intensive, requiring massive deployment of small cells. I'm confident that the actions will lead to a cornucopia of unanticipated, innovative uses and will generate tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important, because it means that U.S. companies will be the first out of the gate. And that is why 5G is a national priority, and stay out of the way of technological development. Unlike some countries, we do not believe that we should spend the next couple of years studying what 5G should be or how it should operate. The future has a way of inventing itself. Turning innovators loose is far preferable to expecting committees and regulators to define the future. We won't wait for the standards. We're already seeing the industry gearing up to seize this opportunity. Verizon and AT&T tell us they'll begin deploying 5G trials in 2017, and the first commercial deployments they're talking about are expected in 2020. And we're not done. As part of our July 14 action, we also plan to ask for comments on opening up other high-frequency bands. Many of the high-frequency bands that we will make available for 5G currently have some satellite users, as well as some Defense Department applications, or at least the possibility of future satellite and defense users. This means sharing will be required between satellite and terrestrial wireless, an issue that is especially relevant in the 28 gigahertz band. But if anyone tells you that they know the details of what 5G is going to become, run the other way. If something can be connected, it will be connected. Hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers. We must reject the notion that the 5G future will be the sole providence of urban areas. The 5G revolution will touch all corners of our country. A lot more antenna siting decisions by local governments, and tightened our shot clock for siting application reviews. America's local governments will play an important role in determining how we fulfill this national priority. You can be sure of only one thing. The biggest Internet of Things application has yet to be imagined. Tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important.
We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man.
As the 5G smart control grid rolls out, inevitably overseen by AI, the delivery of signals may not be limited to radio waves. Soon it will likely include Li-Fi. Light Fidelity, or Li-Fi, is a visible light communications (VLC) system running wireless communications traveling at very high speeds. Li-Fi uses common household LED, light-emitting diode light bulbs, to enable data transfer, posting speeds of up to 224 gigabits per second using normal light frequencies across the 440 to 770 terahertz spectrum. It's already being considered as an alternative of choice to Wi-Fi, mainly for security reasons because, unlike Wi-Fi, light can't pass through walls. This technology can also be used in non-visible frequencies though, like infrared, X-ray, and ultraviolet.
They tend to travel best in narrow and straight lines, and they do not go through physical objects as well.
Which gives an endless amount of opportunities for Li-Fi to be used and adopted very quickly. Of course, at present, it requires a photodetector attached to a device to capture the signal. But as technologies progress, it will likely be built right into every device in the Internet of Things. You can see how it basically works, but the montage doesn't show applications like street lamps or other outdoor possibilities, one of which could inevitably include a form of sun simulator. And this was actually starting to sound like a good thing, wasn't it? In this article, you can read about scientists in Germany developing their own sun simulator, while patents from NASA and other parties are already well known. My point is this could theoretically be used as a mass access internet source, connecting all nodes of the Internet of Things for the 5G or greater AI control grid. If anyone ever wondered why we'd need a sun simulator, this might be one reason. Another of the more recent advances includes the science of optogenetics, in which cells in living tissue are genetically modified for light sensitivity to aid in direct neural control. First, the cells are genetically modified, then inserted into a virus. The virus then injected into the subject. An optrode, a fiber optic cable, is inserted and pointed at the subject's brain. Then wavelengths of laser light are used to control the actions of the subject. These are only the basic experiments to see if it works, though. To get the same result without the optrode, a pliable battery with circuit board and antenna could be implanted into the subject. This may seem only a precursor to a potentially dangerous technology, but there are similar technologies that could be used to enable this kind of control over people without the need for a giant wire plugged into our heads. Smart dust, for example. I left links for how smart dust could be used to spy on our brains, but it only scratches the surface of how it could be used to control our thoughts and actions as well. Without going into details about smart dust, nanofibers, morgellons, black goo, or any of the elements proven to be dumped with chemtrails, my point is that we may already have a form of photodetector infesting our bodies. This is a part of my argument that AI is somewhat of a ruse, even though we're actually meant to merge with the machine eventually, because we've been slowly made into cyborgs over time as technology has progressed. We are a form of AI through psychotronics, mind control, and nano-infection. With an advanced form of optogenetics working in concert with Li-Fi, the entire population could be hypnotized and controlled with just a few flashing light subliminals. This is already claimed to be done using radio and microwave-based weaponry. Mind control through TVs can already be done using something like Hendrikus Luz's patent for nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors, televisions, and computer screens. Many patents could be used in conjunction with one another, like adding the silent subliminal presentation system for silent hypnosis that only sounds like an ultrasonic tinnitus noise if you even notice it at all. This device and others like the long-range acoustic device, LRAD, used by the military are able to throw voices directly at people's heads. It's not unlike the audio spotlight or sound laser parametric speaker systems. Only the person facing it will hear it. There are numerous patents that prove direct or indirect mind control is possible with frequencies alone, aside from televisions, Wi-Fi, and V2K devices, also known as the microwave auditory effect or Fry effect. You can view a list of several of the more popular ones that the public is allowed to know about anyway at another of the links I provided for source material. From 1961's hypnotic inducer, to microwave hearing and brainwave manipulation, to ultrasonic carrier signals. With these technologies, we were already androids enthralled to the machine. This guy sums it all up pretty well.
I asked Ben Bice what a weapon using this technology could do.
Induce basically what would be considered hallucinations in people, direct them to do things against their so-called better judgment.
How easy would it be to assemble a weapon from existing off-the-shelf parts?
In 3 weeks, I could put together a weapon that would take care of a whole town.
In a linked article, a lawsuit against the NSA describes some of the methods being used and how people may be targeted in various parts of the body. I may go over this in detail another time, along with specific patents for mind control. I'm only trying to establish that these things can be done and are used against not only targeted individuals for reasons of experimentation, but the general public as well. It all adds up to us being the real AI when we're not really even in control of ourselves at some point, when a 5G or other control grid is completely rolled out. This was somewhat the plotline of the newer Battlestar Galactica series. No one could tell who was a human and who was a machine, creating paranoia in the ranks, and then they even introduced a human-machine hybrid character, Isis, or Hera, a potential mother cyborg. What happens when cells are altered at the genetic level? Smart dust and nanofibers attach themselves to and or alter our DNA, and then people produce children. See where this is going? Think of the mind control implications and applications with technologies like Li-Fi and optogenetics in place, while our bodies are loaded up with pre-programmed nanotechnology that might even be able to manipulate our DNA without our knowledge, even if it were a slow process that took a generation or two. We were already being made into cyborgs, first by making us addicted to technology like computers and cell phones, then by infestation of nanotechnology like smart dust. Nanotechnology is in prepackaged food and drinks. It's in vaccines as well as the allegedly replicated fetal cells that are also in a lot of processed foods. The worst of both worlds. Technology is making us all into robots while it's being made to seem a natural transition. Which leads me into another possibility born of the CIA's MKUltra projects. The post-World War II Nazis who were brought to the USA with Operation Paperclip helped to facilitate pharmaceutical and electronic control of the populace with projects like MKUltra, which at this point is largely just a generic term for black ops military and shadow government mind control. Government mind control being an oxymoron. Another thing I wanted to mention while on the subject of MKUltra is Delta Assassins. There have been many variations of the MKUltra project, also known as Project Artichoke, as in peeling layers of personality away, that developed over the decades, which I'm not going to delve into, but I do have to make a special note of how the purpose is to create quote-unquote cyborg mentalities. The principal aim of these and associated programs was the development of reliable, programmable assassins. Secondary aims were the development of a method of citizen control. Delta may be a designation for quote-unquote sleeper agents, just as delta waves mean a deep sleep state. Delta is known as killer programming, originally developed for training special agents or elite soldiers, for example, Delta Force, 1st Earth Battalion, Mossad, etc., in covert operations. Optimal adrenal output and controlled aggression is evident. Subjects are devoid of fear and very systematic in carrying out their assignment. Self-destruct or suicide instructions are layered in at this level, Omega, the end. Many people who've been in the military may have been surreptitiously programmed using technology like the Silent Subliminal Presentation System or similar. Constant hypnotic bombardment and repetition along with an unwitting consumption of drugs may be all that's needed to create an MKUltra. Walt Disney was chumming with certain Operation Paperclip Nazis like Werner von Braun, and Disney kids are notorious for flipping an MKUltra switch after coming of age. It's not always Disney kids either, as some like Beyonce or Nicki Minaj claim to have altered personalities that take them over.
Sasha is my alter ego. I guess I wouldn't be very entertaining on the stage, so Sasha comes out, and she's fearless. You know, she can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do.
Once the imagery is absorbed into the brain for life, it can be used to create triggers. This is why The Wizard of Oz and other popular media is used for triggers in MKUltra subjects.
Year that would test a lot of people. Illness in the family. A breakup. This spasm of publicity about what happened from Mexico to London.
It was pretty rough, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ah, weird. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew, ew. Strong Brittany. Yeah, it was a weird time. Ew. I'm embarrassed. Can we stop?
In a quantum computer, that device can be in this strange situation where these two parallel universes have a nexus, a point in space where they overlap. And when you increase the number of these devices, every time you add one of these qubits, you double the number of these parallel universes that you have access to. Until such time when you get to a chip like this, which has about 500 of these bits, you have something like 2 to the 500th power of these guys living in that chip. So the way I think about it is that the shadows of these parallel worlds overlap with ours. And if we're smart enough, we can dive into them and grab their resources and pull them back into ours to make an effect in our world. Now, this may sound very odd to you and bizarre, and in fact, I am using language that a normal theoretical physicist probably wouldn't use, but this is, what I'm telling you is absolutely correct and in line with the way that these things actually work.